The following is a fan-based discussion. All properties discussed are property of Toei Inc., Bandai, Hasbro, and Subaru Productions.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Tokucast Review.
Yes!
Yay!
Episode what?
Damn it. Bastard. Episode 66.
All right.
66.
Yes.
Execute Order 66.
Execute Sentai 66.
This is Sentai 34, but okay.
Yes. And this week, speaking of Sentai 34, we're doing Tensou Sentai Goseiger.
Tensou!
We'll get there in a second
Okay.
because I'm so mad. I originally thought about doing a skit where I was just in church. And I didn't do it.
But they didn't let you in.
Yes.
And I chose not to go in because I don't like spontaneously combusting.
But yeah.
It's the ginger.
If Hammermeister is watching this, I'm sorry. Those jokes aren't going anywhere.
But yeah. Tensou Sentai Goseiger. I'm so happy to actually rewatch this.
Same.
Because it's been years.
I'm happy to watch it for the first time because I've never seen this one before.
We watched it in college.
Yeah, we watched this one together.
Yes, we did.
We watched the whole show together, more or less. But
The whole show.
We'll get to that later.
we really,
it took us forever because everyone said it was awful.
It was bland.
And so we just why put subject ourselves to that? And then I think I pointed out we still watched W even though everybody said Akiko was awful and ruined the show.
Yeah.
And we love that.
And then we watched this and you're like, you know what? This is okay. And then I watched it again and I was like, you know what? This is a little bit more okay because I got
Yeah.
it. All right. Speaking of which, let's go ahead and start off where we usually do with the opening.
It's great.
It's so much fun.
It's a great opening.
I think
I can't remember the last time we all agreed on the opening.
Oh,
Number
yeah,
one.
sure.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I don't remember. In the
all
comments, let us know. Go back to the archives. Let us know. Please do.
No one's fucking doing that.
But yeah, it's like
Oh, come on. We'll have one fan that's dedicated enough to do it.
we watched this,
Hammermeister, please let it be you.
and then
Believe me, he doesn't have time.
I think I
Fair
actually
enough.
went back and paid attention to the lyrics. These lyrics are so positive, and it really sets the
This
tone.
entire Sentai is pretty fucking positive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the opening sets the tone for the show.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, we're here to protect people, and a lot like Hugo, we're here to protect the smiles of the people.
Yes.
And I'm completely and utterly here for
We're
that.
literal guardian angels.
Yes, and they're so happy and positive with it, and I
Makes you
enjoy
wonder why
it.
they didn't go with that route in the American adaptation. And
You know,
then
we'll talk about that.
Oh,
Next week.
We'll get there.
This guy's over here doing the diary opening. But yeah, this opening is
Tensou Da!
this opening is amazing. It's really great, upbeat, and I love it when they use this song in those big climactic.
Yes.
It's one of those songs that really fits.
When they
Oh,
use
yeah.
it as an insert song?
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's fantastic. God, this opening was one of my favorite in Sentai.
it's so good. But yeah,
Let's get introduced to our main characters.
yes. We start off. This whole show is based around the Tower of Heaven, and the Tower of Heaven is destroyed at the beginning
Mm-hmm.
by the
Tower of Babel. Sorry.
Well, no, they don't teach people languages. But yeah,
The drill of the heavens from Gurren Lagann.
it is a drill, except not size of the universe.
R.I.P. and deaths every male person in that show who fell in love with a redhead. Everyone who fell in love with her died.
But yeah, the
Everyone.
Tower of
But
Heaven.
mostly Kamina.
The Tower of Heaven is destroyed in the first episode by Derepita, who is like one of the generals of the first faction that we get, because this show basically it has 3 separate villains, 4 technically.
It has 3 shonen arcs.
Which I gotta say, we brought this up in a previous video, but this is one of the first Sentai to really have arcs.
Yes.
Like
Specific
like a
arcs.
shonen show, like you said.
Yeah.
If this were an anime, this would have been like a 3-season anime.
Yep. And honestly, for this one, it just seemed to work more than I thought it would.
It
In some cases, not in others.
did.
But
Because it doesn't feel like the villains run around to just be there.
Mm-hmm.
They, all had a point, they all had their own arc, and the villains didn't stick around, but there was one person
who did?
Mm-hmm.
Which we will get to all of that. But I think it worked because they were never around so long to the point where it became repetitive and all right, you tried this already.
Mhm.
By the time they got to fighting off the final boss of the arc, it seemed a little more natural to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That it wouldn't, because that's one thing with Sentai, you feel like it wouldn't take this long to beat one guy. So I think that's why Goseiger always struck with me.
Yeah, and we'll say this too. Each one of the arcs represents, or they're sort of in comparison to, sort of embodies a specific tribe that we get from each of the angels.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a Skaic tribe who obviously celebrates the sky.
Yeah, Skaic, Seaic, and Landic.
Landic.
Which there were so many dick jokes in my college dorm room. Landic power.
But yeah, it's sky, sea, and land. And that's sort of how they end up going, because the first one is they come from space, so they're the sky, more or
The
less.
second one are polluting the earth. So
Very,
that's land.
very, very Allegorian.
Yeah.
And the last one were their base was underwater.
Their base is underwater. And the War Star, there are...
Great King Mons Drake of the planet.
Yes.
Which I gotta say, I really like his design.
He was a butterfly.
Okay, all
was
the
a
monster designs. I loved all the monster designs of the show, including the middle arc of Boring.
Yeah.
The designs were still good.
Yeah. So,
But
have,
I couldn't look at him and not think of Venture Brothers after
The Monarch.
the best villain in that show. I loved him. But yeah, there is Mons Drake.
I would love to hear a dub of him over the guy from
Somebody do that!
Oh, boy.
So good. And Durepita of the Meteor and Berateron of the Comet. Pay attention to him.
Can Berateron of the comic be Dr. Girlfriend?
It fits.
I'm making it a bridge series.
I think it fits.
That is everything. I need that in my life. But yeah,
I'm on fire.
so it's these three at the very beginning of the show. They represent the sky, and we get to see our, sort of, really the only rivalry we have in the show with Durepita and our first Goseiger, Alata. Let's talk about the Goseiger suits.
I love these suits.
I love the designs of them. There is a problem.
The lips.
I think my problem with the lips, and I've sort of
Yeah.
gotten it in this one,
Yeah.
it makes those jaws look huge. So it just makes the helmets look so big in comparison to, what came before and what comes after with Shinken and Goseiger. Those are sort of more streamlined helmets.
Oh, yeah.
These
definitely.
ones are just very, very big, and the lips do nothing to help, especially
see,
Very pronounced jawline for sure.
The thing is, the more I look at suits with lips since we've been watching so many Sentai lately, I am really more understanding your hatred of these, but it still doesn't bother me as much because I still adore the design of these suits.
The designs are beautiful.
I think they're okay. I don't think they're great, but I think
it's just everything above the lips with the visor and all of that, and the animal
on the side.
The animal on the side I really like.
The only
emblem on the chest I really like.
Is it the white from
It's
the belly button down?
Yeah,
that's
get that. That's a little bit of a problem.
It is a bit unbalanced for that because it seems too much heavy on the white.
But it makes sense for the theme of the show.
I get that.
Yeah, the purity aspect of
the
it.
purity aspect, and don't the morphing sequence doesn't it wrap around their chest to create the emblem and the color?
Yeah.
So it kind of makes sense. But I adore the helmet designs. I love the emblem of how it's each a part of Skaic, Landic, and Seaic, just put together. And my favorite thing of all of Sentai, because of my Power Ranger heritage, the individual weapons that combine into a giant cannon afterwards.
Let's actually talk about that because they do show up in the first episode as well. I do not like yellows. Or pinks.
Pinks is just a blaster.
But it's weirdly big. It seems unwieldy. And I think that's our problem with it. And yellows isn't even on both sides.
No, it's not.
So I'm just like, why is yours really the only one that has that design?
Because it's supposed to... they're trying to mirror the axe design of the axe. So there was that going for it. But I can see why you wouldn't like yellows. I don't mind pinks.
You know who my favorites is? It's blues.
Yep. I knew you were going to say that.
I like blues a lot. I like that crossbow.
I love Alice's rapier.
The rapier is great. The axe is also pretty cool.
I love the fact...
hammer. Sorry.
It's an axe.
It's an axe.
Oh, it is an axe. That's right.
I can't remember the last time that we saw a Sentai member not only have a rapier, but actually fence like it's, wizard. And
it's really interesting to watch him fight, especially when we end up getting to see him.
The fight scenes in the show are fantastic a lot of the times.
Yeah, especially when we get to see him fight.
Also, that crossbow is broken.
This is something that we're definitely going to bring up a lot more once we get to 199. But yeah.
Oh god, I can't wait to review that movie.
Yep.
We are just excited today.
Yeah, we're very excited because, once again, this is a good show. But yeah, we meet the War Star and we get to see sort of how their mechs work. They come from headers.
I still laugh at that.
I wasn't really all about.
At first, no.
It's like the only one that really looks good when they actually show the individual mechs in episode 2 is Reds.
But can we all?
I really don't like any of the mechs in the show, to be honest.
Really?
I'm
really
that.
starting to hate mechs. I'm serious. We're talking about arcs. I would love it if mechs got arcs as well. Let me explain. If, let's say how do I word this? You can cut this if you want, because my brain is just fried as a
We'll come back
right now. Please do.
Well, I was gonna say, can we at least get props that we finally have a snake Zord for the first time in Sentai?
Yeah.
And
this is the first one.
And it worked I feel like it worked better than most people thought it would.
The fact that it was a train, I think, helps.
Yes. The fact that they were all based on some sort of vehicle at the same time.
I hated Pinks. I hate it. It was so small.
It was.
Yeah.
In comparison to the rest of them. Yellows too. And they also have, I like the roll call a lot, and a lot of my problems with some of the things in the show, at least like aesthetics wise, end up coming from pink and yellow. Especially because we're just coming off of Shinkenger.
Yeah.
Right.
And they seem less in comparison. Like, okay, so the Landic tribe, of course, has power over things in the land. Why is hers the power of buds? Yellows. The power of buds. When we came and had
wood and earth.
Wood and earth from Shinkenger.
Yeah.
And Pink's is like the weirdest one. Power of breath. I'm sitting here like, your powers must be the strongest in the morning because it's hot.
I think the fact that they were coming.
Listerine.
I think the issue is that they were just coming off a very elemental based or elemental focused Sentai.
Yeah.
They were trying not to repeat themselves too hard.
But they made a point of doing sort of that in the Shinkenger Goseiger team up.
Yeah.
But yeah, the first two
I think breath just makes it sound more ethereal.
it also makes it sound weird.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I remember
There's
what I
not
wanted
much you
to say
can do
about
with
mechs.
air. There's not much you can do with air.
well, his is like storms.
Mhm.
Hers could have been something not breath.
The problem is storm takes a lot. You could say wind, but that's part of storm, and so they wrote themselves into a corner.
Maybe lightning and hurricanes, or
As much as they end up using, because goddamn Tensou. Let's talk about those really quickly. I don't like these.
Which one? What are these? I never knew the name.
Morphers, the Tensou.
Oh god,
Yeah.
They're bulky.
they are very bulky. I don't mind I think the problem is they decided to make this a card themed show, which fucked them.
No, I think they could have done it just better. Like, think about season 3 of Digimon where they had those scanners.
I was literally just thinking that.
That would have been better.
A card slider, not a card eater.
Especially because...
An e-reader, not a card eater.
Though I shit you know, every time they brought those I went, "Welcome to the Legends of the Hidden Temple."
Not wrong.
No, it looks like
However, they
Welcome to the Hidden Temple. Gotcha.
It sounds like him too.
I'm just picturing one of the Tiki guys coming out. Gotcha.
Gotcha.
You got none of those medals to give them.
I
But
remembered what I wanted to say about mechs.
Okay.
Don't have a fight every episode.
That I'm okay with.
Don't have a... Here's another thing I would like to see. Have them either
Earn it.
find a way to disable or permanently destroy the mechanism by which the monsters are grown, so that we can get away from mechs for a little bit, and then the villains come up with a new way to grow the monsters, and by doing that, when they grow, they get stronger, and then it's like, oh no, our weapons that we have don't work. Now we have to use our power-ups because the monster is stronger because he grew.
Not just because toys.
Not just because toys.
at least
I would like it to be more organic.
in this show, that makes a little bit less sense because it's the BB bugs things, and they're sort of hard to all shoot because really you only need one.
This is more of a complaint for like Sentai as a whole.
Yeah, he's more just speaking in general.
Yeah, because they're.
I would also love an arc where they would have to each individually earn their mech. Like they have to go through some trial.
Like in Die Ranger?
Like in Die Ranger.
Die Ranger did it perfectly.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
I was going to say, let's see if I can remember now.
Sorry. You got my mind going.
It's okay. Let's keep going. We'll come back.
Let's talk about the actual mech, though.
Oh, right. Now I remember. Their mech fight in the first episode is about an hour long.
They don't get the mech in the first one.
I meant their first mech fight.
It is very
It's like
long.
an hour long. It just goes on and on and on.
At least it's better than the Power Ranger adaptation where they showed the same clip of them flying towards the monster 3 times.
Yeah, I remember that. I know.
We'll talk about that in a second.
B-roll.
We'll get there.
Let's talk about Gosei Great.
That's not B-roll. That's stock footage.
Yeah.
Gosei Great. I like this mech.
You know, not a fan.
I don't mind it. I really enjoy the overall design. I don't like where the knees are because you could see where other headers could go.
I'm not a big fan of shooting heads at things.
No,
that too.
That's dumb.
The whole header idea was just not a good idea.
Yeah.
It worked on... The only time it worked is on their actual blasters where they can put it and use it as a... I get that, but as a mech design, no. But I do enjoy the practical effects of the mech's finisher.
Yeah.
That is one thing I will absolutely give this show credit for is the flaming sword.
Fire swords
on a mech suit, a flaming sword, where you've got God knows how many other spark packs and
plastic
miniatures that are going
melt
off and little charges they've got that go off to make dirt debris come up. All the props to that for keeping all that under control. I mean, that's some good work right there.
And I feel like, and I wish, I'm sort of happy we haven't gotten it because it makes it more special when it does happen.
Mm-hmm.
The last time that I really remember, and I know that it has come in between these two shows, the last time I really remember them doing a practical fire sword like that was in Power Ranger.
Yeah. And I would also like to point out, Jacob, you're in a world of hurt, because honestly, in my opinion, this is the best looking mech this show gets. Because it's all downhill from here.
Oh, I know.
It's all downhill.
Oh, I know.
Because what do we got looking forward to? Cone head and face chest.
It's not face burster, it's face chest.
Anyway.
But yes.
Your face had no face.
Or it had too much face. But yeah, episode 4, we get to meet Datas, who was like their computer boys and girls thing.
Okay, their computer boy on girl.
They're alpha.
They already have a computer boy, and that's
Nozomu. And
Nozomu.
his dad.
Child actor. That wasn't terrible.
He wasn't terrible, but he wasn't great.
He wasn't.
He wasn't Ko, but he wasn't the kid from Q Ranger.
Yeah,
so
the best one.
He's somewhere in the middle.
Somewhere in the middle.
He's just there a lot, so we have to deal with him.
He is their human connection in this show.
Yeah,
quite literally.
Because they are otherworldly, and he is their link to the human world.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
I will say this. I like that they introduced him in the first episode and then kept him there.
True.
And they always managed to tie him in some way with the main theme of the episode.
Yeah.
Or the main plot. They always managed to tie him in some way.
Yeah.
So I'll give them credit for that.
There are a lot of things they do very well.
Yeah.
But some things they really don't. Oh my god, what is that?
Sorry. But yeah, that's episode 4, and this is the first time that we also meet Brajira around the comment officially.
Mm-hmm.
And the first time they also meet him. And I
love his design.
His first design is great. Brajira around the comment was great.
It's not as great as his last design, but
that's not fair.
True.
Yeah, but Brajira around the comment was great. Episode 5. Okay, so this is when we first start to get those extra sets of headers that they mostly use for toys.
Mm-hmm.
You don't say.
We get the CX.
I mean, getting back to their computer thing, I would have just loved it if it was just a computer, but no, it has to walk around and
which I think
because
is the thing
toys.
That makes it worse. Right there.
That's what really makes it worse.
I do not like Datas as a concept. He just seems like the innocent party there. It's just because his voice is so high.
It's that really squeaky voice. I am so cute. Buy me, please.
Which is, they didn't.
What it's really unfortunate is that when he, tries to become useful and get a mech.
That happens later.
Yeah, I know, but still. Don't do that.
Don't. No.
Make sure you don't. Episodes, like the next 6 episodes or so, it's them getting...
Sorry, I just had a thought. Transformer slot machine. That's what he is.
I think it already exists.
I know, but that's what he is. Transformers, Robots. Why?
Robots in a Y.
Yeah, episodes 5 through basically 10. It's just them getting the new headers over and over again.
And let's talk about those header when it comes to the mech. Oh my god, they look awful.
Especially the Landic one. Because it's the giant Kuwagata beetle. So like the thing just come off its head like this. Although they do also have like alternate ones where they'll put it on the chest.
See, I hate this. I hate the scenic one, with the pirate, and it's trying to show like the shark head is a pirate hat.
It's a manta head.
It still fails miserably.
It does.
Like it's like that's the hat and this is the face, respectively,
With an eye patch.
with an eye.
Yar.
But in episode 10, and this is sort of one of the big things that ends up happening, but a lot of the things that end up setting up personality traits happen in the first arc of the show, which is what really ends up making the second arc not that good. Episode 10 is where we get to see that each of the angels, they're all apprentices when they first get down there. They weren't supposed to be the only angels on Earth, but once the Tower of Heaven fell...
Haven't gotten their wings yet.
Yeah.
Every time a bell rings, an angel... Shut up! Okay.
Actually, in this case, every time a bell rings, an angel dies. Because they're each supposed to have a partner. They all did, or do, in the case of the Seeks and the Landic... in the Skyx and the Landic. But the Seek one was supposed to have a partner who died at the beginning. Mages. Gosei Great, a.k.a. Deca Green.
I was going to say, yeah. Senchan's back. It was nice to see him again.
As another
for
green.
5 seconds.
He did. It was only there for like 5 minutes.
It was still cool to see him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he ends up getting killed by one.
I would have loved for if they had decided to go against tradition, like with Q Ranger, and have him in there and have a team start with 6 because 2, 2, and 2. I would have loved to have seen that. But it would take a few more years before Toei decides, fuck starting with 5 or 3. Go 9.
Let's start with 9.
It's like about 7 years after this for that to happen.
Yeah.
But yeah.
They are nothing if not stubborn.
Yeah. Magus, he did get a Ranger key later on.
Yep.
The part of the Lost set. His thing was apparently that of the dolphin, which during the movie, I think his header that they were going to use for him is actually a part of that movie mech.
Cool.
Gosei Wonder. But yeah, I like that episode because it also does end up giving it shows Hyde and why he is the way that he is. He was very scared of losing somebody else. But
you'd
like
be
I
too
said,
if you were the singer of L'Arc-en-Ciel.
That's true. But a lot of this, like I said, ends up happening only during the first arc. And it really takes back from the second arc, although a lot happens in the second arc, it's not as much. At least person-wise. Episode 11, Datus Hyper. Which is a thing.
That's a thing that exists.
It's the head.
It's the everything.
It's really there.
See, I don't mind the head. I just mind that it's Datus.
I mind that whole thing.
It's basically just another one of those boy mechs. Like they used to have in like Mass Man and
fucking Goanger didn't have the tire one.
Yeah, had the tire one. So it was just like another one of those
toys.
Yeah. Non-sentient mechs.
Mm-hmm.
And then episode 12, this is the one where they actually get to meet Mons Drake for the first time. And we also get Hyper Gosei Great.
Yay.
It looks awful.
Yep.
It's the headers.
It's the headers.
It's really the headers.
It's the Go Under problem of let's shove these action figures anywhere we can.
Yeah.
It's not the worst looking mech ever.
That comes next episode.
I thought it was cool how the dragon wings come down to do that. I thought that was a clever design idea, but still, headers was not a good idea.
Yeah. Now, over the next 2 episodes, it ends up, especially in episode 14, because Monet is the youngest one of them, and Hyde is the oldest. So there, of course, is going to be some dichotomy there. But I like the episode when they got trapped in that alternate dimension, and they had to work together to actually figure out how to get past that. And it really caused Monet to grow as a character because she just can't be so impulsive and just do things. You actually have to think about it.
Thank you.
Do. But in episode 15 and 16 and 17, more or less, it's the last arc of the really just 15 and 16. It's the last arc of the Warstar arc. So
remember that rivalry between Arata and that one general?
Directa, which has built up over the first 16 episodes.
Yeah.
But in episode 15, they get rid of. I like the fact that they actually do this in their base form too, because it really shows like a power scaling throughout the rest of the show.
Mm-hmm.
They get rid of Monstrate in their base forms in a pretty damn impressive battle, to be honest. They get rid of Brajira around the Comet.
Get rid of him.
And in episode,
massive air quotes.
Yeah, in episode 16, they get rid of Directa, or rather, Alata does, and he apparently is in a coma for like 2 days. But yeah, this is really the only rivalry that we get throughout this show, and it's over in the first 16 episodes. This is like sort of the same thing they did in Ninja. And yeah, that ends up.
Though the difference between that and this is that you feel like Arata was getting better.
Yeah.
As opposed to, I fought you 5 minutes ago and lost. I'm gonna beat you now. What?
Because I've decided to.
I'm gonna punch you in the schnoz.
I'm gonna deck you in the schnoz.
Well, you're gonna get it. Alright. Now, at the end of this episode, and this is something they didn't do from the second to third arc, we see like these footprints in some mud with purple ooze coming out of it.
Ivan!
Thank you. They call me Ivan Ooze. And I do not appreciate you stepping on my face!
Smells like actors in their mid to late 20s pretending to be teenagers.
Episode 17, we meet the Yuumajuu, who are the second...
Our second evil force.
Yes.
AKA Snarfest.
Yeah.
Hope you guys like Captain Planet.
Yeah, this arc is... And
Not
the worst part
particularly,
is,
no.
I think it wouldn't be so bad because their whole thing is pollution. But it wouldn't be so bad if we didn't do this 2 years ago. With Go Under. And like, that was their whole...
That was the whole villains of Go Under.
Yeah, it was just bad timing.
Yeah.
If those two shows are going to be like 5 years apart, not as terrible.
I love how it's like, hey, that worked. Let's condense it here.
Let's condense it into a quarter of the time.
Yeah. It's a good thing they did.
Yeah.
To be fair.
Yeah.
But,
because if that were the rest of the show...
We wouldn't be talking so highly of this show.
Yeah. The middle arc...
But again, I still really like the designs.
Yeah. When we originally watched this, we...
Massive air quotes there.
We skipped around a lot. But in this episode, we also ended up getting to meet Gosei Knight. Let's talk about his design first. I think he looks cool.
I think it's okay.
For what's supposed to be a robot Sentai member, I think they could have done much worse.
And the fact that he's actually at a pretty standard power level throughout the rest of this show. He's pretty damn strong.
Oh, yeah.
And that actually shows when he takes on, some of the final bosses by himself.
Yeah.
Because that's what he does.
And his weapon is cool because it's a blaster that turns into a sword and is also a cell phone. And if Linkara has taught us anything, that is cool.
The only problem is he should not be a sixth.
No, he should be an extra.
He should be a Bangai hero. Because he just is not a sixth. If we're going off like purely how they've done it in the past for Bangai heroes, I think the last one that we got was, Rio and Melee. But yeah, it's just, he should
Does Signal Man count as one of those?
He is.
Okay.
He's the second one. But yeah, he really should be a Bangai hero instead of a sixth. And I don't like the fact that Toei counted him as such.
I just love this picture that they have on the wiki of like them doing all their poses, and he's just kind of like awkwardly off to the side.
That's what Gosei Knight does. He's not here for your posing.
He's
but it still it kind of drives home that point you were talking about. Maybe he should have just been a Bangai hero because they're up there like, yeah, we're the team, and he's like,
yeah. Usually the sixth ends up getting incorporated into the posing, and that doesn't happen.
Look at Tokucast. How many extras do they get? But no matter what, they all got involved in that spiral at the end.
But yeah, we learned that Gosei Knight was actually an old header. And they've just been given sentience by Masterhead, who has finally started to contact them over and over again. That was really their point at the beginning of the show, especially Hyde, because he wanted to get back to the Gosei world a lot. Well, pretty damn desperately. And Masterhead is sort of like the head of the Gosei world, of course. And he's been steadily contacting them, but he can't hold the connection for so long. This is becoming more of a thing.
He doesn't have good cell service.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have good heaven service either.
Oh, you're really proud of yourself for that one.
You shouldn't be.
But yeah, he has a header, like a full mech on the header called Groundion. It was just basically a big tank.
Mm-hmm.
It looks alright.
Yeah, in that form it looks alright. Let's talk about when he gets two others to go with
Gosei Ground.
Conehead.
Does
it come from France?
That's the worst part of this because, like, Gosei Knight himself is the head, so those point head things
Are his feet. It's like they saw the fucking Defender from, oh god, Lost Galaxy. I can't remember what it was actually called in the Sentai. Magna Defender?
Bull Knight?
Yeah, they were just trying to redo that, but failed.
Now, a lot of the first part of this show is basically just them trying to convince Gosei Knight to actually fight with him, with the rest of them. He's very reluctant to do so.
For some reason.
It actually makes sort of sense. He, is an old header. He has a certain way of doing things, or more or less a certain way he was programmed, but I guess he's sentient now. And he doesn't think that they're doing as much as they possibly could be doing, so he doesn't really want to work with them. And I get that. Things like that happen. But yeah, next episode after we end up getting introduced to Groundion, Ground Gosei Great happens in episode 23.
That it does.
22. Let's talk about this mech. This show has a lot of mechs, but they don't feel super intrusive all the time.
They don't, but let's just... No.
I think the thing that really makes this worse, because...
Is Gosei Knight doing the splits on top of it?
Thank you! Like, dude.
You-ho!
Gymnastics could use you. But I don't like the beetle once again being really incorporated as much as it is into this.
Isn't it just the spearhead?
It's the spearhead, but
it's just the way it looks.
How about the fact, what is Pink's doing? It's just on the shoulder looking...
So is Blue's.
They're just on the shoulder looking this way.
I can't see! Turn your shoulder!
Tackle him like a football player so I can look. Thank you.
Speaking of which, we haven't talked about the inside of the mech.
The cockpits.
Yeah. I like it. I have to think it looks good. Yeah. It's white with... It looks a lot like their outfits. It's white with their symbols
good point.
On the front of their station.
I think it's very... I don't want to say bare minimum, but it didn't feel like as much...
Minimalist?
Yeah, it didn't feel like as much thought was put into the design of this as it was like everything else in the show. Just gray. And then their symbols, and then... I felt like there could be more.
It definitely could be more. I mean, it could definitely be a lot worse.
Yeah, it definitely could have been worse.
It could have been really like any of the ones in Power Rangers after a certain point.
Yeah. It's not them standing on a pedestal with extra armor.
He makes a very good point.
It's a very, very good point, yes.
Looking at you, Neo Saban era. Jesus Christ.
What are you doing? Episode 24. This is when we get the super mode. And I like the way they sort of did this, because it was locked behind like a Gosei wall or something, the sword that was used in the past, but it proved too powerful, so they had to lock it away. Mm-hmm. And Brajira finds out about this. By the way, he is now back as Brajira of the Chupacabra.
That's not a joke name. That's actually what he is.
I know, it's just a funny name.
But I like the fact that Brajira finds out about it, finds out that he can't get through that barrier, makes the Ghost Sagers go through it, gets the sword himself, comes out, and then they get the power up after that. Let's talk about their super forms.
Not a fan.
Not a fan.
Not a fan.
All.
No, not making a joke about face chest. This is one of them.
It's just a set of armor with the super Ghost Sagers.
It's not just a set of armor. It's goddamn Curus with a fucking head on it. And then they get the goddamn gumball machine with a tip on as a sword, and they put the stupid Olmec Tiki bullshit on it. I'm ranting, I know.
I don't please do.
It's so...
And it's just not... especially
when you have the concept of angels. You could have done so much more with this.
Especially because we're just coming... Alright, so the Ranger one is simple, but it
works. Because
a lot.
also because it's one that is shared between everybody.
Yes.
And it works with the aesthetic that they're going for. Samurai. You have angels as your aesthetic in this, but you doubled down already. You're quadrupling down on this header thing that no one fucking likes.
Well, maybe because I think this show's so well. But it still doesn't look good. It's just...
Let's also just be glad it
It's
wasn't
just a face. It's just a face on a chest.
And a little bit more gold. It's like...
Let's just be glad because this was also card themed, let's just be glad they didn't go the decade route.
That's very plain. The thing with this, I think it's just
But honestly, I don't mind that. It's the fucking weapon that kills it for me. It's so goddamn stupid.
I think it's just like an overdone version of the Ginga Man one.
I think it was an overdone version of the Magi Ranger one.
No, I wasn't talking about the weapon. I was just talking about like the whole thing. Because especially between Ginga Man and this, they're both gold in terms of the power up.
But Ginga Man was the first, and it literally just gave them it was minimalistic, and that was indeed minimalistic. This is trying to look fancy, because look at the design in the chest, there are pipes going towards the head. The head looks... there is so much effort put into this shit.
Mm-hmm.
And then they just put a ball on a stick.
Just the gumball.
That was literally my first thought, and I could not get it out of my head for the rest of the show.
No, you're absolutely right. It looks like a gumball machine.
Ball in a cup. That's what it is.
So but like I said, you could have done so much with the angel motif.
Mm.
But you decided to quadruple down on the header thing that people are still making sexual innuendos to this day about.
Headers.
Thank you.
Alright.
You know what I would have loved?
What's that?
I would have loved it to incorporate wings coming out of their back, but the wings are shaped like their logo for the Skyac. I would have loved that.
That's a great idea.
Toei, hire the fuck out of me. Come on.
Right. Now, going forward, a lot of the next couple episodes are just a lot of filler. I mean, it does more for the characters, but at the same time, it's still filler, and it's not interesting filler.
Yeah.
So a lot of it's, like we said, when we originally watched this, we skipped a lot of this. It was just not that interesting. But in episode 29...
I think I realized why I hate them so much.
What's that?
It covers all the fucking color on the suit.
That's another thing.
There's like nothing about
all you have left are the sleeves now.
The sleeves and some of the some of the crop top.
Yeah.
But I'm staring at it, just getting angry.
Alright. Episode 29, we are introduced to one of the Erure box, which apparently the Yuumajuu were originally sealed in, and it still houses a lot of power inside of it.
Mm-hmm.
So Brajira of the Chupacabra decides to go ahead and use this box. And I love... Brajira is a very interesting villain because he is subservient, but he's always sort of doing his own thing throughout this entire show. And it makes him a very interesting villain because of it. Which,
for those of you who are familiar with Christianity, that's some subtle hinting right there.
It's not subtle, it's in your face. He's also Blade Runner. That's a joke.
Yeah.
But he decides to use this box for his own gains, even though he said he was going to use it for... I can't remember the name of the two main villains for this because they're not that interesting. Makuin and Kingon. He said he was going to use it for them and for the prior to the Yuumajuu, and then he decides to betray them and not use them. And then he ends up getting killed again.
Though in this case, it is killed as... No, he's fucked up. He's legitimately injured.
Yeah. And it ends up making this...
Excuse me.
Pretty damn interesting just set of episodes because this is the last arc of the Yuumajuu. Thank God. It wouldn't be so bad if it was just more interesting, but they're not.
Though it had a fucking great ending.
It did.
One of our favorite moments of Alata in the entire series.
I'm going to see if I can get the clip from the episode because I remember which episode it is. But damn it if it wasn't hilarious.
Which part? Because there's two clips.
You know what I mean.
There are two...
We'll talk about it in a second.
Okay.
I'm trying to put it in here. But yeah, Makuin decides to merge his power with the Erure box. And he basically ends up getting destroyed, but at the same time...
Where's that villain faction?
I hate you both. But he puts his power and himself into the Erure box. Kingon throws it on top of a building after he is destroyed, and the building basically just turns into a whole different dimension. And so the Goseigers end up going in there.
Yeah, when that happens.
Gosei Knight fights Kingon by himself and fucking wins.
Yep.
Because these are Gosei Knight things. But this has a couple of our favorite moments in the entire show.
Out of the 3 top moments, mainly involving 2 of which just involve Alata.
Yeah.
The 2 of them are in this scene, or in this fight. One of which is they're fighting.
They're storming the castle.
They're storming the castle. They're fighting the foot soldiers.
Have fun storming the castle.
You think they'll do it? It'll take a miracle.
Miracle Gosei Header.
And I just remember the guy who wrote the book died recently.
Sad. But back to this.
They're fighting the foot soldiers, and I can't remember what they're called.
BBs.
BBs. Because fucking better than loogies.
God, that's a terrible name.
We'll get to that. And Alata puts one in a headlock and just snaps its neck and drops it dead. And we
and the best part about this is you hear them running, and then he runs up, grabs the guy. You hear his neck snap.
And the best part for us, at least, was we literally went, "Wait, did that just happen?" Rewind. Holy shit, that just happened! Rewind. Watch it a few more times, because Alata's been this pushover. I don't want to say pushover,
but he doesn't have the strongest personality.
He's been very compassionate.
He is
an angel.
He's a decent guy.
Yeah.
No,
he's very
born supremacy. Moving on.
Yep.
And then now this whole place is basically the Yuumajuu dimension,
where the laws of physics don't mean shit.
So they go into an elevator chasing after Makuin.
A Wonka man.
And they come out. They come out of the elevator, falling up a down escalator, and it is comedy.
Yep.
Comedy.
And the funniest part about that is you see that happening, and the BBs are just going up.
They're literally just stumbling upstairs, and your mind can't comprehend it.
It's so good because it was so abrupt, and they spend no time on it, and it's so funny.
Like they don't even make any focus on it; it just happens, and it move on.
Yep.
So you know the director's like, "This is gonna be fucking funny."
It's great. Now let's talk about something good. Well, that's the end of that arc. There's no preview for the beginning of the next arc, but before we get to the next arc, guess what we get to talk about?
A movie.
Tensou Sentai Goseiger versus Shinkenger Epic on Genmaku. I watched this movie last night after finishing the show. I still think it's alright. It's not as good as what comes after.
No, it's not. But that's also not fair.
What is?
To be fair, very few movies except for maybe Mega Monster Battle
and the Geed
movie. Yeah.
But I definitely enjoyed the whole idea of Shinken Red turning evil with the black cloak,
the black and the gold. Oh my god!
It looks so good.
I want that jacket. I want it. Like, just purely as a fashion statement, I need that jacket.
wear that one to work.
I know. I could. It's really work acceptable. But it's so good. I love how this movie is basically just showing you... Alright, so Shinkenger is done, but Takaru is still the badass of the badasses. When after he turns evil and he fights against all of them by himself and wrecks them.
Wrecks their shit.
And I love how it's just great seeing them interact, although it's not as great as
what comes next.
It's such an unfair comparison, but this is really a lead up to what ends up happening after.
Yeah.
And it's such a good one. All right, now
sorry, I stumbled across that picture, and
that sums it up perfectly. Just
because he basically just walks through them after he gets taken, and the whole thing is this happens immediately after Brajira was originally defeated as Brajira the Chupacabra. So he comes back as Chimatsuri no Brajira. He basically just took over like Dokoku's form, and it leads to some great moments of just Shinken Red being a badass. I like their interaction, although it really shows
there's a theme going on here.
Yeah, it really shows the difference between these two teams, though. How much more serious Takaru and the others are in comparison to Alata and his team. But this also sets up the thing they really explore more in Gokaiger of the Versus universe.
Yeah,
because these teams know each other, or rather, the Goseigers know the Shinkengers. So technically all the Versus movies take place in their own universe, which Decade also has access to. That's when the Shinkenger Decade episodes happen.
Yeah.
They knew them. But this is also where Gokaiger takes place. So all of the teams know each other in this
So it was
version.
Decent world building for their future Sentai.
Yes.
That kind of added some continuity to it.
Yeah. And
which I'm okay with.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And I like the fact they brought back, the remnants of the Ayakashi from the end of Shinkenger that they didn't defeat, including the octopus squid guy.
Yeah, and finally tie up that loose end of what happened to him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert: he gets blasted by some pirates.
Let's go ahead and talk about these because it's the first time that we get to see the Gokaigers. And this is also the second time that the Lantern sees the next team. And he makes a point of that. Just like I've seen something I shouldn't have seen.
Yeah. But we won't talk about how the suits look or anything. We're going to save that for actual Gokaiger
Which
review.
I am looking forward to more than anything that we've done on this channel.
Seriously.
Are you watching Gokaiger?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm so excited to rewatch
It's
Gokaiger.
still one of his favorites.
Yeah. I mean, it's my favorite Sensei, so of course I'm
It's
excited.
so much fun, and I'm just so excited to watch it. We had like 4 months, but we'll get there.
Well,
It's so far away. It's so sad. Because I will marathon the hell out of this show. I think, all right. Let's see. After this, hold on. Because I think I can just say we're actually going to do this. After this, I guess we're doing Ryukendo. He's so excited to do Ryukendo.
well, because everyone's been talking about it for so long, and a lot of people really want us to do it, so...
Then we're doing Garo Season 4.
Looking forward to finally doing it.
Then we're doing O's.
Yes!
And then, so we have about 2.5 months.
Before Gokaiger?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be one of our first ones of the new year.
Sweet!
Starting out 2019 with a good note.
Yay.
Yeah.
I'm so fucking excited.
We'll see what happens. But why don't we move on with the Goseigers?
Yes, because I like this movie. I think it's perfectly alright. It actually explains exactly what happens to Brajira in between that, sort of, but at the same time, you gotta remember, this is technically a separate universe from the main series. So after Brajira is defeated as Chupacabra, he ends up coming back about 6 or 7 or so episodes later as somebody completely different. But we are met with our third main faction, the Matrintis, who are commanded by Robogog, who was like their big commander. Apparently they were like some ancient civilization. And Metal Alice. I like her outfit.
As opposed to Wood Alice.
Or Paper Alice.
Mm.
Oh, Water Alice. But I like her outfit.
Yeah, no.
She looks
Once again, the designs are cool, though.
It's alright.
I wasn't the biggest fan of the big bad from this arc. In his design, it was very bulky and generic.
I love what happened to him at the end, though.
True.
Because bitches don't give shits.
Because Alice in Wonderland off with his head.
Yeah. Now, we actually missed...
Though I did not like Boredoron's design.
We'll
for
talk
this
about that
arc.
because we haven't gotten there yet, and we missed the mech. Gosei Ultimate.
Face chest! So much fucking face chest!
Masterhead gives this to him as like the last of his power after they almost get trapped in the Yuumajuu world after beating
so much face chest.
After defeating the Yuumajuu, you will come to the cave of the silver monkeys.
But yeah, this mech is just a big silver mech with... I think if the face was a lot smaller or just on the inside of the cockpit,
Yeah.
this will look great. I like this mech, but that face ruins it.
Mm.
That's like the main thing. The silver and red and black all go together perfectly fine.
Yep.
But that
Then you have a
face-
giant gold face just staring at you.
Not to mention the finishers, just because those faces are the miracle headers,
Mhm.
so they just shoot those at the enemy.
It's so dumb.
And it gets the little like toothpick swords to try to be fucking intimidating. Then it turns into a bow, like, oh my god, because not everybody and their fucking mother's done that trick.
This is from Pitt, by the way. Pitt
Yeah.
from Kid Icarus.
Kid Icarus.
There's also
I was almost just gonna say
Super Smash Bros.
yes.
I mean, that's what
That's
Captain-
all anyone knows him from.
Yeah.
That's what Captain Falcon is known from now.
Yeah.
There hasn't been an F-Zero
Last
game in
F-Zero
years.
game was on the GameCube.
Although, to be fair, the Kid Icarus game for the DS
3DS.
was a lot of fun.
Anyway,
Ultimate Gosei Great is the last mech that we really end up getting. It's just Gosei Great with...
But on the bottom of a spaceship.
It's basically those kites from the Hurricaners when they travel places.
Yeah.
It's basically just that. And it's bland. In the way they beat people, they just ride on the kite and use the thing as a bow and shoot a whole bunch of arrows at them. So
Surfing and shooting.
It could definitely be great, but it's not.
But it isn't.
So,
But it isn't.
That's really all you got to say here. It's really not that great. What is the next major episode? Because the next major episode is actually episode 38 and 9. Now, a lot of the way that, because of course Robogog is the one who basically creates all of his people.
I actually really like this design.
For Robogog,
Yeah.
I think he looks fine. He's very defense oriented, which makes sense.
I'm okay with.
I just feel like they could have done something.
Better.
Yeah. Or just, I don't want to say better, just different. Maybe a little more color.
Yeah. Now, episode 38 really sets up a lot of things with
I think it
Gosei
works.
Knight. At this point, he's joined the team.
Yeah.
But a lot of the time, it's just them trying to get Gosei Knight because he's a robot, more or less. And although he has Gosei power, but yeah, that's the way they end up bringing him. They're trying to kidnap him for a good part of the last arc of the show.
Turn him evil.
Yeah. Now, episode 39.
You think I'm joking?
No, I don't.
This is when we get Brajira of the Cyborg. This is the last time that we get to see Brajira in a non...
I think they missed an opportunity by not calling him Blade Runner of the Replicant.
I was so upset. But, yeah, this is his last form. I am not a fan of it.
No.
It's weirdly bulky. And from every other time that we've seen him, because they basically rebuilt him, it just doesn't look...
We can rebuild him. We have the technology.
We
We
have the
shouldn't
money.
have, but we did.
We shouldn't have.
I mean, it
You were so busy wondering if you could have. You forgot to ask if you should have. But before you knew you had it, you packaged it, you patented it, and now you're selling it. You're selling it.
yeah, it's alright. Now, in the last part of this, Robogog has basically placed something on Brajira and on Metal Alice. It's like this little thing which he can use to inflict pain on them. In episode 43, this is like the last two-part episode of the Matrintis. They're around for like 11, 12 episodes, so their arc is a little shorter. But I like their last part of the arc. The whole point of this is to for Robogog as this sort of thing. He's cast Metal Alice aside, and she does not like him because basically he just uses her to inflict pain on people because he gets off on it.
Pain.
But yeah,
We know you, Naruto.
the way that they end up doing this, so he sends Brajira out. Robogog does, and he uses him to basically just rust the Tensoders and the Leon Cellular that Gosei Knight has. But Brajira, deciding that he has had enough of his shit, decides to not fully rust out the the Cellular, and he lets Gosei Knight basically just beat out Robogog. And
This is another design I think is okay.
yeah, but Gosei Knight does that, and then uses the rest of his Gosei power that he has at the moment on the rusted over Tensoders, and he uses those to bring those back. Now, Robogog is of course upset. He is
Well,
very.
there go my plans.
He tries to almost kill Brajira, and then he of course turns giant, tries to kill the Goseigers. That doesn't work, and then
Because of course it doesn't.
he gets blown up. His head is still there, and he was like, "Haha, you thought you beat me. I actually have this thing that Brajira has, your first mistake, and that could bring me back from any type of injury because apparently he's Piccolo." So Brajira just looks at him, and Robogog is just like, "Now use it on me." And Brajira looks at him and said, "Nah." He crushes it. Everybody's like, "The fuck?" Now, Metal Alice had already come back, but she was defeated by the Goseigers. She gets her ass kicked. And then she blows up, but not fully.
And then she blows up a little bit.
So she's like, we see wires and everything coming
Yeah.
over her. So she's over there laying in the grass, and then Brajira kills Robogog. He goes over to Metal Alice because his memories were originally sealed away by Robogog. The only thing he didn't seal away was his hatred of the Goseigers. And he got his memories back thanks to Metal Alice. He gets rid of the thing that Robogog has on him. He goes over to Metal Alice. And this is when you knew that Brajira was that real shit right there. He goes over to her, and she's like, "Are you finally full of his treachery and his lord over all of us?" And he's like, "Yes, because it's my turn now." And she looks at him, and then he stabs her, and she blows up. And the Goseigers are just like, What? I was just like, that's some shit. And I'm sitting here like, oh, right. This is why we loved her the first time we watched the show. Because he
gave no shit.
He killed her. Because fuck you, bitch.
It's my turn.
And then we get the final one, Savior, Brajira. Basically, he's
Lucifer.
He is a fallen angel.
He's part 4 Digimon.
He is literally
He's mega evolution.
He is Lucifer.
He's the fallen Gosei angel.
Mm-hmm.
He is the fallen Gosei angel. He is Satan. His weapon is even a demonic blue and gold version of Alata's rapier.
Mm.
He was originally
and he has the powers. He was originally Skaic, but he can use the powers of all 3
because he absorbed.
And his design is amazing.
Yeah, he absorbed the other 2 angels in the past, and he was the one who sealed the Yuumajuu, and Gosei Knight was his header. It all ends up getting connected here, but he also has these orbs that he can use to like block and just send back at whichever tribes uses something against them. It's a very interesting just arc with this.
But it gets to our third and I think one of our favorite moments in all of Sentai. With all
that happens a little bit later.
Okay, well let me know when I can talk about that.
Because he has these like dark headers, and he ends up kidnapping Gosei Knight, who's like after fighting the Matrintis, he's very depowered right now.
Mm-hmm.
But he has these dark headers that he uses, and whenever the Gosei just beat him, they turn into drills that he's using for the like Earth rescue plan, because he thinks that the people of this world are just
destroying. They are killing the Earth, so we must wipe out the human race to save the planet.
And just
Supervillain plot number 973.
Yeah,
but you get why he thinks that. I mean,
I'm saying there's nothing wrong with formula.
Yeah,
formula's like bread in a sandwich. It's totally fine.
And I think in this case, it's executed well.
Yeah.
It is.
Because Brajira
it's always all about execution.
Especially the idea of the monsters he releases become the drills. So either you have to beat the monsters and continue my plan,
or the monsters beat you,
and you
I
still
continue my plan.
Mm-hmm.
Either way, you fucking lose.
Either way, you are not thwarting my plans.
Thwart my plans? But he kidnaps Gosei Knight, turns him into a dark Gosei Knight. But speaking of which, you did mention this, and I'm sorry, we did skip over it. Let's talk about his design. He has wings. And he's all blue.
He has wings, he's all blue and gold. It's beautiful.
It's so good.
It's great.
Now, originally, he was, like you said, a Gosei Knight. A Goseiger.
He was a Goseiger.
Who basically absorbed the other 2 angels that he was with. And I love that scene because you can hear them screaming.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh my god. And he apparently, after he beat the Yuumajuu, after he beat the Yuumajuu, he was sent 10,000 years into the future. And he was the one who called the War Stars down. This guy.
Motherfucker.
They're
tying it up with a lovely evil bow.
I love the fact that they actually give us a little bit of lore about the show.
Just don't unwrap it, it'll turn into a drill.
They said that
Merry Christmas. Oh, it's a drill.
The old way that they used their powers, it was those orbs that Brajira had.
Before the cards.
Yeah, before the card. They said they streamlined them and made them easier to control. From the orbs to the cards and the 10 cylinders, because those are a little bit more mass produced.
Mm-hmm.
So they're easier to use at the end of the day, and it makes things a lot easier to control. And see, these old ones are very powerful, but can go a little bit wild. And I love that. Like,
it's about to get wild.
They built this up together, and I was just like, that's a great way to do that. Having old, having new, and then just like, all right, this is how things have evolved in terms of this. Now, I love it's one of the last things that ends up happening after they start turning people into drills. It's the last drill, because of course they're the land, sky, and sea drills. And I love that scene where it's dark. Gosei Knight now, you can tell because his visor is black.
Mm-hmm.
And
that means he's evil.
He's like, you have to defeat him or he'll kill you, but he'll also turn into the last drill. Plot twist. He didn't turn to the last drill. It was just, you had to go defeat this other guy at the same time, and they do, but he turned into the last drill. This was just a way to lure you out.
This is just a fuck you.
Like, you can't fight him, can you? Because if you do, you beat him. And then he shimmied and left. In that order.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking love him at the end of this, by the way. Master Head is apparently taking over Nozomu's dad for a good portion of this, so that was a thing. That was not the best plan they could have had at the end of this, but it's still interesting enough. All right, episode 48. This is something that they brought over to Megaforce, but they didn't do it nearly as well.
Oh, you mean like everything?
No, remember this?
Now
in this, and we're not going to talk about Megaforce here, but in this one, Alta is the only one who's fighting Gosei Knight, as the others are fighting, the monster, the last monster. And Alta basically just screams at. It's super shonen, and I hate this, but I really do. But it works better here because it's just getting rid of the dark Gosei energy that Gosei Knight has out of him. So Alta gathers all of his and just punches him, and that purifies him. It's done better, but it's still bad.
Because it's done better because it makes more sense in this as opposed to Chosen One storyline that goes fucking nowhere. Moving on.
Now, I like the fact that a little while ago after one of the other times they fought, it was Hyde's last focus episode. Hyde is really the only one who's landed any hits on Brajira prior to even in his final form. I like the fact that they made Hyde as the actual second in command, so he's also really competent. But the ending of Goseiger ends up doing this thing where it's all about the red again.
Yeah.
But
it didn't feel as bad.
No, but
not as bad as say Kyoryuger did.
Because it wasn't throughout the whole fucking show.
Yeah.
It was just you also have to remember of what Red just fucking went through. So he's kind of done.
This is also the scene where
because he's so done with this shit that he's trying. I think he's trying to pep talk the rest of the team, and fucking Azul Lucifer. That's what I'm gonna fucking call him because it's funny.
Yeah,
tries to shoot a blaster, and he just turns and bitch slaps it into a wall, and it's just Alita's done with your shit, dude. And it was the greatest thing because he was so done. And it wasn't I'm powerful. It's just, no, I'm fucking tired of you and your shit. What episode are we on, guys? All right, we're going to fucking do this.
And it ends up leading to a pretty damn great fight scene against Brajira. Now, Brajira basically just stomps them for a little bit until that pep talk isn't happening.
Yeah.
And then they finally go.
Shonen second win.
And they give us the suitless roll call. It's always so good.
It always gives you the goosebumps.
Yep. Some are just yes, I was upstairs in my bed watching it.
Skyak power! Seek power!
I'm just yes,
Atlantic
power! So great. And they beat Brajira. And the drills have already started to go. So it's basically just Master Head, Gosei Knight, and they just holding the drills up as much as they can. And then they beat Brajira. And Brajira, being the petty motherfucker that he is...
A.K.A. the man after Marcus's heart.
Basically. He's just nah, you might have killed me, but I'm going to use my energy and use it on these drills real quick. And they go down. And I'm sitting here that is max petty, and I'm completely here for it. Do it. Do it, bitch.
Do it.
I'm completely here for this. But
if Marcus were there, he'd be on the sidelines. Do it! Do
yes, I'm here for this! At the end, the Goseigers do a Miracle Earth Tensou or something, and they use giant shields to stop the drills, and they basically just destroy the drills that way. And the show is now over, giving us the preview of Gokaiger. Before we get into our feelings on the show, because I really want to save it until we do the characters.
Okay.
Let's talk about Alita. He has a weird juxtaposition between the way that he acts sometimes.
Yeah.
It's he can be super serious, but he's also really airheaded.
Yeah, he can be a real ditz.
Yeah. I'm just it doesn't always work. I mean, yeah, he has some great
It's
moments.
a little inconsistent, but he definitely has his moments. He's fine.
Yeah, he's perfectly fine. I really wish he had more of a rivalry with somebody else later on after Directa. Or at least somebody else in the team did, but yeah, it definitely could have been worse. If we're going to go in terms of just pure tribe, let's talk about Eri next. She might be one of the worst characters.
Those ears.
It's weird because both of the girls aren't that good in the show.
No. But Pink had those ears.
Especially because we're coming off of Shinkenger and we're going into Gokaiger.
Yeah, considering how great those two girls were.
Yeah, it's just both Eri, and I'm going to put Monet here as well. They had some growth, but...
Yellow, I feel had more growth, Because she had I liked her very sibling relationship with Black.
Well, it's her brother.
Yeah.
They were siblings.
No, but I'm just saying, like, I'm talking about from an acting standpoint, it worked.
It felt
genuine.
Okay,
Yeah.
good.
Aries, alright. It's just, she definitely could have been better.
I loved rewatch, because I haven't rewatched the 199 movie since we watched Goseiger. I haven't rewatched it since then.
Seriously.
So the last time I watched it was before I watched either Goseiger or Gokaiger.
Okay.
So watching it again and knowing all the things, like how they do the whole thing before they start the race, oh god, so many more references we're getting.
Once we get to that fucking month. We're doing a Gokaiger month, by the way.
Woo! Because there's so many goddamn Gokaiger movies.
Yeah.
But yeah, Aries definitely could have been better. Monet definitely could have been better. Agri. He starts off very angry.
Get the fuck out. I don't care if it's your house.
I'm proud of myself.
You shouldn't.
Yeah, I don't mind Agri. He's the strong guy. You know, just
He's the tough guy, the loud, brash one.
Yeah. I mean,
the normal Black Ranger.
he's alright, though.
I like how, isn't his axe too heavy for anybody else to wield?
Yes.
But he wields it like it's fucking paper.
Yeah.
I love those moments.
When Hyde tried to use it, he was like, "You're holding this?"
He's like, how the fuck?
Yeah, Agri definitely could have been. I think, and the worst part is, it's really just Red and Blue who get the most in this show.
It is unfortunate.
The other three are sort of in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get plenty of focus episodes, but at the same time,
But they don't really grow much.
Yeah.
No.
I think the actors are okay in the show. I think everyone in the show is fine.
Also, those jackets.
Yeah.
They're out of
Their civilian costumes are great.
I want Agri's.
I want Alice's.
But yeah, last character before we get to that. Hyde. He gets the second most. One of the war
He
stars.
might have been my favorite.
And it helps because he had a much deeper and more intense backstory than anybody else.
Well, once again, just like Alice, it really only happens with the war star arc.
Yeah.
Because that's when Mages was killed by one of the war stars.
Yeah.
So that sort of ends up taking away a little bit from him from the rest. Although he has some great moments. I remember when they first got their super forms, they were fighting like the past monsters that somebody brought back. And he fights it by himself, by the way.
Yeah.
Well, they all do. But he gets this moment where he's like fighting the monster. He doesn't look at him, and his sword extends through the monster's chest and kills him. And I'm sitting here like, you're like a prototype for what comes after you. You're still good. I like you enough, Hyde. Yeah, he felt a lot of guilt at the beginning of the show because he was the only one without a partner. And, you know, and when they had that whole time travel thing, Aubrey mentions that. He was like, why are you the only one without a partner, huh? Because it's like accusing him. And I'm sitting here like, oh no, bitch. Don't come for him. But yeah,
I will cut you.
I like Hyde.
No, Hyde's great. Last
one, Gosei Knight.
Yeah, he's okay.
Yeah.
I like the fact that he had that whole thing with actually getting to know the Goseigers and then finally joining them later.
Yeah.
And then that whole part at the end where you find out that he was Brajira's header.
Yeah.
So they had, you know, their history and everything. And Brajira was originally the one who sent him to be in the ice that he was in.
Mm-hmm. Though, oddly enough, I don't know if this was a plot hole, but the thought did just occur. If he was originally his header...
Why didn't he recognize him before that?
No. It was more of he's from the Skyak clan, but Gosei Knight's very Atlantic header. So...
Maybe it was literally a different time. Just like the warp snacks.
True, fair enough. The thought occurred.
Yeah.
I never made that connection during the show. Just came to me just now.
Speaking of which, there was a thing at the end when Alice was like the only one standing against Brajira, and the others offered to give him basically their life force, and Brajira was just like, "You're going to become exactly like me, aren't you?" And I was sitting here like, "You're manipulating him, and I'm completely here for this." But I like
Satan would.
Yeah, I like that. Parallel.
No, he was a fantastic villain.
Brajira was so good. He manipulated everybody. He killed Meta Alice because fuck that bitch. And I was just like, that's how you do it. Alright, let's talk about the show as a whole.
Do you want to start with our thoughts or do you want to start with their thoughts?
Let's start with their thoughts.
Okay, so on Facebook and Twitter, we asked what you guys thought of Goseiger so we can put your reviews in the show.
Yay.
We're going to start with Facebook because there's only 3. Aaron Christie says 5 words. It's not good, but that's okay.
That's 6.
Anyway.
No, he's right, though. Jonathan Fuentes said overshadowed by pirates.
It's overshadowed by pirates and samurai.
Yeah. And Darian Scree said, I couldn't make it past the first episode.
You should have.
Wow.
That
You
is
definitely
unfortunate for you. You're lost. Sorry, not
No.
sorry.
All right, Twitter.
We're going to be here a bit.
Oh, we got a lot on there?
We got a little bit.
Okay.
I'm going to skip some of the smartass ones like Patty, who just said, let me go really watch every single episode. I'll be back in a sec. We have Dwayne Vickner saying, I like it. Jude, it's a bit slow, bit as in quotes, in my opinion, but a decent Sentai.
Mm-hmm.
J-Boss said, Goseiger is okay and has its good moments and bad moments, and the middle arc is probably the weak point. First arc is good. Last arc is the best part. Dwayne Vickner came back and said it's better than the Ninja or Goanger.
Most things are.
A kick in the balls is better than that. It's
Digital
over quicker.
Shockwave says, it was my first Super Sentai I ever watched, so even though most people may not like it, I have a soft spot in my heart for being my first Sentai. Matthew Brignac says, Goseiger was overall okay. If I had to sum it up in 5 words, it's better than its counterpart. Thank you for showing my review. I Am Skull Kid said, Goseiger is a good series in my opinion, has major problem though. The episodes involving the pollution guys were boring as all get out.
Everybody gets it.
Jonathan Jennings, Goseiger's good. I really don't like Agri at all. Alata has some great moments even though jewelry gets a lot of hate. Plus, I love their mech designs. Plus, the villains are way better. Gosei Knight is GOAT.
Okay.
And we still got a couple more. Catfish Billy.
Mhm.
I like the card motif for the changers, and the last arc is one of my top 5 Sentais I've ever watched.
Nice.
That sums up our thoughts too. Really.
Basically, it's just like that middle arc
It's
is
terrible.
a chore to get, and it's weird because that's when we get Gosei Knight, that's when we get the super forms, that's when we get some of the other mechs. But a lot of it just wouldn't have been so bad if we didn't legitimately just get this 2 years beforehand.
Yeah.
But Goseiger is still a good show. And I think that was the thing that really surprised us the most when we first originally watched it.
Yeah.
We watched it and we were just like, all right, we went in with low expectations, but our expectations sort of got blown out of the water because we really enjoyed a lot of things in the show.
Yeah.
A lot of, there's a lot to say about the show, but like someone on there said, it really gets overshadowed by the Samurai and the Pirates.
Well, you know this about me. I think you should always judge something by its own merits, not compare it to other things. But even taking that into account, it is kind of hard to separate the fact that this came in between 2 of the best seasons of Sentai that have ever been put out.
Just like Go Under coming in between Deca Ranger and Shinkenger.
Yeah.
So,
Except this one's good.
yeah. Like, yeah, it's a little bland in places. Like, there is some filler that are definitely filler.
Yeah.
But it's still overall good. Especially because Brajira, he has a lot of charisma. And he really drives the show. And I think that he's sort of the thing that saves it. I think it's a great show. I definitely think...
Great, really.
Well, I'm going to say great in terms of, those sort of middle
Great
tier.
with an asterisk.
Yes, those sort of like middle tier Sentai. It's like at the top of the middle tier, like above Go-Go 5, Ginga Man.
Okay.
Things like that. Yeah.
Honestly, it's one of my favorites.
It's
really?
I like it.
Yeah. Especially after a rewatch.
Yeah.
The pollution arc didn't bother me as much. Mainly because I knew what I was in for, as opposed to the first one. I'm like, oh my god, that was a great first arc. What's next? Fuck.
What's next? Go on.
What's next? Go under.
Oh, I already
Gal
saw
Rangers.
this.
So, but god, rewatching that last arc is so fucking fantastic.
It's sort of like, I'm really happy that once again we're doing this show,
Mhm.
like as the Tokucast as a whole, because going back and rewatching things, our opinions will change. And I think this one just like it got better.
And for me, going at this, because this is the first time I'd watched this all the way through. I'd seen, a couple episodes here and there, but this is the first time I'd seen it all the way through.
You see what we're on about?
Well, yeah, that first arc, pretty solid, lay some good groundwork.
Middle arc.
Middle arc is awful, but that third arc, the way they tie everything together, and there's so many connections that are tied up that you don't know if they need to be there, but then when you see it, it's like, okay, I can see this and it works.
You get it.
Thumbs up to you.
It's a good show. If you haven't watched it, I would definitely suggest that you do.
Oh yeah, I would recommend
And
this one,
whoever said
absolutely.
they couldn't make it past the first episode, give it another try.
Yeah, it's worth it.
It is worth it.
Now, next time for episode 67, we'll be doing Ryukendo.
Yes.
You can do it.
I have no idea what it's about, but I'm excited to finally get a look-see.
I'm trying to figure out how to... It's like Kamen Rider meets Beetleborgs, but without, the stupid campy bullshit.
And a weird camera.
But, as
Very
always, let us
plasticky
know what
looking
you think of
weapons.
Goseiger in the comments down below. Let us know what you think of Ryukendo in the comments. Maybe we can use those for next time.
Oh, please do.
And as always, follow us on all the things. We are streaming next weekend,
Yes.
Saturday, November 24th
Mm-hmm.
at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We still don't know what we're playing yet because we're very indecisive and terrible.
Once we get there, we'll figure it out.
Yes. Also, happy Thanksgiving.
Yes,
To
for
those
those
who
of us in the
celebrate
U.S.
To those who celebrate it, happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays, and we'll see you next
Yeah,
time.
we're in the middle of Halloween and Thanksgiving, so there's that.
We'll see you next time. Bye everybody.
Bye.